My name is Azima Bora. I'm from Forage Ecomania Club, and today I'm going to be presenting about women empowerment and gender equality. Hope you like it. So, the introduction is that I'm going to be speaking about is women empowerment, gender equality, She's the First Organization, gender-based violence, female activists, and self-work. The history of women empowerment. So, the first women's rights movement was the Seneca Falls Convention, which occurred on July 19th to the 20th, 1848. This then led to the women's suffrage movement. The Homo Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who along with Lucretia Mott, conceived and directed of this convention. In 1848, Stanton and Mott launched a women's rights convention to make a bold statement on letting the right of women to vote. Susan B. Anthony at the time was a social reformer, and she started working with Stanton. The two women made a wonderful team. All three of the women started working together and created campaigning with the temperance movement, began fighting for the right of women to vote. This was later ratified in 1902. Women empowerment. Women empowerment is helping women believe in themselves and having the ability to make their own choices, along with starting movements to influence change in society. Women empowerment allows women to make life-determining decisions through different problems in society. There are three important empowerments I'm going to be speaking about: economic empowerment, political empowerment, and cultural empowerment. Economic empowerment provides funding for education, the right to inherit property, and political empowerment gives the right to vote, ability to run for office, and supports gender equality by creating different policies. Last but not least, cultural empowerment. Cultural empowerment helps spread awareness on education and challenges the established norms and culture of society. Gender equality. Well, gender equality is when all people of all gender have the same amount of rights, responsibility, and opportunities. Fun fact, the Equal Rights is the 14th Amendment, and it is the right of a person to be treated equally regardless of their gender, if there's man or woman or any other genders. When sharing an equal amount of power, our sub-target is to ensure that all women and men have the same rights and opportunities for decision-making in all sectors of society. She's the First Organization. She's the First Organization is a nonprofit organization that fights gender equality through education. It encourages young women to pursue education and choose their own paths. I enrolled into this club in my South Brunswick High School because I was interested in learning about women and how their change affected society and the greatness behind it. Gender-based violence, also known as GBV. Gender-based violence occurs when a person is subjected to violence based on their sex or gender. There are different types of GBV violence, like physical violence, domestic violence, and social economic violence. The human rights protects all of these violences that a person might have. Female activists. Female activists that I'm going to be speaking about today are Betty Friedan, Malala Yousafzai, and Michelle Obama. Betty Friedan was an American feminist writer and activist. She wrote the famous book Feminine Mystique, and this book addressed it on the false perspective on how women shouldn't be restricted to only being a housewife. Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistani activist, and she impacted the world in many ways, but she mostly advocated on how girls should be allowed an education. In most regions like Guatemala and India, girls don't have that much of an education, and she gave the right of them to have one. Lastly, Michelle Obama. You might know her as the former um, First Lady of the United States, but she also serves as a role model for women and advocates for poverty awareness, education, and physical activity. Last but not least, self worth. Overall, self worth should teach individuals not to put yourself down and know that you're worthy of being loved enough and good. Self worth is a huge opponent in women empowerment because the main objective is to encourage young females and even women of older age to be confident and stand up of what they believe in. To conclude, I talked about 6 things: woman empowerment, gender equality, she's the first organization, gender based violence, female activists, and self worth. Here are my sources. Thank you for listening.